that were in this article, some comments that were made. And if I say to Johnny, if I ask you certain follow-up questions, the way, say, Sam Donaldson might do, you know, and you find them uncomfortable, which you might, you can just say no comment. And I thought that was fair. And she said, I don't think that's fair. Now, I'm going to leave it up to you. I can either, like, press a couple of these questions that were this information in here, or I can reveal certain things about myself. I leave it up to you. What do you want to do here?
Well, there are going to be plenty of shows in the fall for you to go on, so, you know, take your... I see. End of...
No, it's up to you. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll make a deal with you. Okay. I'll ask you a question that's a follow-up of this interview that appeared in the Los Angeles Times. It's not like I'm making up these questions.
I understand that.
I'll ask you a question, and then you do what you want with it, and then I'll reveal something about myself.
Right.
So it's not only about you. Is that fair?
Sure.
All right. That's fair, because we're here to be fair.
I can tell.
All right. Now, the first thing I'd like to...
You look like Ben Franklin.
Well, actually, this has to do with Ed, a quote from Ed. That you will go to Johnny's dressing room and spend exactly 7 minutes there before the show. It's a tradition.
Yeah.
Johnny will invariably be alone, rolling a quarter or doing an old magic trick. All right, all right. We never talk about the show. We might talk about sex. All right. That's my first question. Before the show, you and Ed get together in the room.
Right.
Wherever you are in your dressing room, and you talk about sex.
Right.
What do you say about sex?
Where can we get some? Now, of course, if you're going to give me a straight line like that, I give you a silly comedian's answer like that.
That's fair. Now, I promised my wife...
No, you've asked me a question now.
Yes.
How long have you been married?
Now, wait a minute.
No, you've had your question. You've been married how long?
3 years.
Did you ever have an extramarital affair?
No, wait a minute.
Well, that's a nice, honest question.
Wait a minute. I didn't... You can ask the questions. No.
I don't even. No. One no will be plenty. I understand.
No, but
Just a no. Oh, no. Hey. Just as simple. You see, the answer to the question is a simple, dignified, of course not, and you go on, but no.
Have you?
That was a cheap question.
Have you?
I haven't been married long enough to have an extra. No, that was not a fair question.
All right. Now what I meant by this deal wasn't that you would ask me questions.
Oh, I thought that...
No, I would ask you questions. All right, well, we could do it that way, but what I was going to do was I was going to reveal something personal because you answered this question. When you and Ed, before the show, you talk about where you can have sex.
Well, you got 30 seconds to reveal. You got 30 seconds to give us a revealing insight into you.
I had an obscene phone call very recently. I was on the other phone. The other phone rang, and I said, I put one call on hold, and a man said to me, I'd like to make love to you. I said, excuse me, 1 second. I got off the other call. I got back on. I said, what did you say? He said, I'd like to make love to you. I said, I'm not a homosexual. He said, oh. I said, do you do this? This is what you do? Call people up and say you'd like to make love to them? He said, yes, I do. I said, does that ever lead to anything? He said, yes, it does, sometimes. I said, well, in this case, I'm sorry, I can't participate in that, and but good luck to you, and don't keep in touch. While I'm here, would you just
where the phone company got their slogan, reach out and touch someone. Your time is up.
Now, while I'm here...
No, you've revealed more than enough.
Before we go, would you just say the word sometimes?
Sometimes.
Say that one word.
Sometimes.
No, it wasn't him.
No.
What a cheap, tacky trick. We'll be back with some high-class acts.
ISA, that stands for the International Service Agencies. The ISA is a team of approved nonprofit agencies that offer assistance to people in need of emergency relief, social welfare, recreation, self-help, and morale-building services. Just remember the ISA message, help and hope around the world.
We've grown accustomed to watching our presidents on television. The honor of being first went to a man who had already mastered the art of using radio for his fireside chats. The first president on television was Franklin D. Roosevelt. His opening of the New York World's Fair in 1939 was televised by RCA's experimental system. A year later, the first political convention was covered. Politics had discovered TV and vice versa.
I'm Captain Kangaroo, and I'd like to tell you something that I think is really important about your heart. Now, do you know that your heart is a muscle that works like a pump? And you need to take good care of it so that it can last a long time, your entire life. Regular exercise helps the pump stay strong. And healthy eating habits, never smoking, help a lot too. Ask your parents and teachers. There's more information available from the American Heart Association.
Okay, my next guest, Dom Irrera. Dom is a regular performer at both the Comedy Store and the Improvisation in Hollywood, and he appears frequently at the Comedy Stop at the Tropicana Hotel in Atlantic City. He's been with us before. Would you welcome Dom Irrera? Dom?
Thank you. Hi, I am Dom Irrera. Thank you. I am originally from Philadelphia, I'm proud to say. I lived in South Philadelphia, a very Italian section, for the first 8 years of my life. Hey, forget about it. What am I, wood? The old damn. Come here. Over here. I moved to West Philadelphia, mostly black neighborhood.
My man Dom, what's happening? My man, hey, that's my main man Dom.
Then I moved up to New York about 8 years ago. I figure... Thanks. I don't even need to do a routine. I'll just announce places, huh? I moved to New York about 8 years ago. I figured I'd kick around, do a couple of Broadway shows, maybe an NBC special or two. Had a lot of job offers. Took the waiter job.
Waiter, I don't like the texture of this salad dressing.
Bada boom. It's tough enough working for tips. I mean, I was parking cars at 28 years old under the Brooklyn Bridge, running for cars. Oh boy, 16-year-old kid would drive up in a white Cadillac Baritz. I'd open the door for him. He'd rub me on the head, give me a quarter, and call me Slugger. Here you go, Slugger.
Oh, thank you, mister. Oh boy.
Give the guy a tip or don't, but don't make it like a big deal. Waving a dollar bill at a guy. Hey, here you go. Whoa, here you go. Whoa. Like you're supposed to turn into Flippy the Seal. Oh, thank you. God bless you. Now I can go to college, a good school. Thank you. I think I should tell you I'm from a broken home. My father left home when I was in second grade, but my father never cheated on my mother. He used to cheat on me. He used to pick up other kids after school, take them to the zoo, take them to play ball. Mean, when he would get drunk, he would make me get tattoos. No, Daddy, not another Donald Duck, please, Daddy, no. One day he came to me and says, look, Dom, I got to level with you. I met another kid. For the first time in my life, I feel like a real father. My mother stood right by me. She says, Dominic, you're my son. You'll always be my son. You stay here as long as you have a job. Yeah, rejection is tough. I mean, I'm going to level with you. Even I didn't always do that well with women. I know you're thinking, come off it, you supple little hunk. Who you kidding, doll face? I asked this one girl out. She says, you got a friend? I said, yeah. She said, why don't you go out with him? So we get that personal rejection, that zinger rejection. One time a girl's giving me the walking papers. I'm trying to be cool. I said, what, are you seeing somebody? She says, no. I said, what, you're dating around? I understand it. She says, no, I just don't like you. I was one of those neurotic Catholic kids. I was one of those kids. I thought everything I did was a sin. I would go to confession if I saw a bra commercial. 8 years old, what can you do when you're only allowed out till 3:15? The thing I worry about was Judgment Day. Judgment Day, how embarrassing is this going to be? You're going to be judged for all your sins at the end of time. Your whole family's sitting there naked on little stools. Angels wheel out giant video cassette recordings of your whole life. They fast forward all the good stuff you ever did. Slow motion, you got to watch yourself dancing naked in front of a mirror at 14.
Your mother's going, I thought you were making models, you little pervert.
Hey, Mom, forget about it. I love this. I love being a comedian. I love being a comedian because you can be honest. Certain occupations you can't be honest. Barber, hairdresser. These guys have to be tactful, diplomatic. Guy goes into a barber shop, all those pictures on the wall. I like to look like him. The barber could never go, listen, you fat pig. He is a male model. You are a human sloth. You understand me? Thanks. I love working at the studios, too. No smoke. I hate when people smoke in my face. Smoke in the nightclubs. I mean, I got a nasty habit. I'll admit it, spitting. Spitting is a disgusting, vile habit. But I would never sit at lunch with somebody, so, how was your day? I had a rough one. Yeah, I had a pretty bad day myself. I hate when people... That was a good one. I hate when people spray food on me and don't acknowledge it. Look, we both know that you just hooked a piece of meat onto my nose. You see it right there. You know it's there. I know it's there. The kid in the corner knows it's there. Do something, anything. Tap the back of my head, flip it back into the stew. At this point, I'll settle. Acknowledge this. That's all I ask. One of my first dates, I'm sitting here with the girl, ham and cheese sandwiches, 'cause I spend. I rocket a piece of lettuce under her eyebrow. I figure I got to react to this. I got to do something. I put a piece of lettuce on my eyebrow. Cool for the restaurant. Yeah, eyebrow lettuce. That's cool. My grandfather used to smoke these big, fat, disgusting Italian cigars. I think they were actually called El Disgustos. These big mud sticks he would stick into his face. In the morning, he would have stubbles that you could grate cheese on. Wine breath. I was 7 years old. He wants me to give him a kiss for a quarter. Hey, boy, come here. Give Grandpop a kiss for a quarter. Grandpop, you got to come up with some bucks for this kiss. This is no small change transaction. We're talking endowment. Forget about it, Grandpop. Thank you.
Okay, my next guest is probably the most popular baseball hot dog vendor in America. In a lot of parks, he's known simply as the Voice. So welcome a man who has a song in his lips, hot dogs in his hands, and hope in his heart. Tommy Walton. Oh, Tom, you bought some samples we're going to see later, right?
We got a few there.
Hey, thank you for coming tonight. Where'd you come in from? You worked normally where?
Well, I was in St. Petersburg at the time.
St. Petersburg.
Yes.
But you've worked ballparks?
Every major league stadium it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're here tonight. You ever get a chance to see our show?
Oh, yes. I watch it somewhat.
Yeah.
You know, I only like the parts, you know, when you tell the jokes, you know. And right after you swing the golf club, off go the TV. I mean, I'm serious, yeah.
Well, then you missed the highlights of Mr. Grodin's many appearances. How long have you been selling hot dog vendor? When did you start?
I've been doing it about 15 years.
Yeah? Had you sold before that, or?
Yes, what happened when I was a kid, you know, me and my dad used to sell vegetable off a mule and wagon. You know,
right.
And I would take and sit up there. He would bore me, you know, with the stuff going through. The people let us grow vegetable in their backyard, and he'd go through, you know, on Saturday and Sunday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
We got peas and beans and greens, you know, and I told him one day, I said, Dad, let me do this some, you know. I said, maybe we can do better, you know. And so he said, well, you think you can do it? Let me try it. So the next day I got out there, you know, and these guys were doing these wraps now. I've been doing it for years, but I got out there, and so I started hollering, here's the vegetable man. You know, my dad, he would always have peas and beans and greens and apples. So here me go, you know, the next day I got, hey, here comes the vegetable man. I got peas, beans, greens, apples, cucumber, squash, banana, corn on the cob, white potato, sweet potato, ginger, titty, dick, titty, you titty, my titty, and the people just come out all the time.
Yeah.
It's crazy, you know.
Yeah, it's a rap and sales talk, huh?
That's right.
Yeah. You may have started the whole rapping thing without noticing it, right?
You know, I think about that sometimes.
Yeah. When you go out now, somebody told me when you sell the hot dogs, you do better than practically anybody else. Now, is that the secret to keep the crowd going, entertained, or what?
You got to have that vim, you know.
Yeah.
You got to throw it in. You got to have something to do for the people, you know, and then they'll appreciate you more.
Because ball games sometimes when nothing's happened gets kind of dull, right?
Right.
So
and that's where I pick up the slack.
Yeah. What's the biggest tip you ever got?
Really, once I never get a chance to go to the bleachers, but this guy called me over, so I goes over, and he said, hey, Tom, how many hot dogs you got there? I said, this thing don't carry about 50 hot dogs. He said, toss them around to the people, and he threw me down two $100 bills.
That's not bad.
That's the best ever.
That's not bad. Is there a trick to throwing these?
Not really. A lot of time I miss myself.
Yeah. Somebody told me you threw one once and the thing separated and...
Oh, yeah, this...
And, yeah.
You know, a guy always, when he take his girl out, he like to take and show off, you know.
Yeah.
He got his wife, his girl, so he said, hey, Tom, I'll have, you know, he was about 20 flights up. I'll have a couple of hot dogs, Tom. So I took and tossed one of them, you know, and the next one I tossed, the meat went one way, and the bun and the paper went another, and his top plate fell out.
When we come back, we'll have you toss a few. Stay where you are. Who's thinking? Thank you, Charles, for being here. Tom Hanks will be here next week. Placido Domingo, Robert Klein. And Roberta Klein, too. He's bringing his sister. Father Guidos, lots of other people. Tommy Walton's going to do a little work out in our audience. We'll see you next week. Go ahead, Tommy.
Now you got a close-up in live and living color. Hot diggity dog. We got dog, and dog going dog. Hot dog, gone dog, underdog.